This message is for those of you who have been in the process of releasing an identity. This year has been a slow unfolding of you coming to the realization that who you are currently is not who you are meant to be. And this shedding in the year of the snake has not come easily. It's asked you to give up a lot, to let go of many things that you were attached to, that gave you a sense of self, that gave you a sense of worth, that gave you a sense of identity. And that these ideas and standards, expectations that once felt aligned for you, once gave you a sense of passion and purpose and a sense of who you thought you were, those things really fell away this year and caused you to question, to doubt, and to ultimately surrender to God's plan, the cosmic blueprint that was already embedded into your soul and is speaking through your heart, leading you to a different timeline, a different reality than you've ever known. And it hasn't been easy for you. It hasn't been a completely willing process of letting go and surrendering. These are things that you held very dear to you, people, places, ideas that you really cherished and poured your heart into. You gave so much of yourself to these different areas of your life, and there is a sense of almost like cosmic completion is what I'm hearing, where the contract is up. What you needed to receive from that, you've received, and that you have a way of just moving through things quite quickly. And this isn't a fault of design. This isn't because you're afraid of commitment. It's not because you are unable to hold anything down. It's because you were never meant to settle there. It's because you are made to be moving through things very quickly to collect your lessons, to collect what it is that you feel and is meant for you to take with you, but not to stay there forever. You're meant to move through these things so that you can shine your light, and your presence and your energy can change and transform the timelines, the situations, the people even that you touched while you were in those places. And that was the mission. That is the mission, that has been the mission, and you will continue to move forward fulfilling that. And this new transition I feel as though you are now a lot more open and a lot more surrendered to the possibilities of what could be unfolding for you, the next phase, the next step, the next chapter of your life is currently being written. It's like you have a blank page, a blank slate, and through a lot of processing, through a lot of acceptance, through a lot of grief even that you may still even be feeling now, but you are arriving at a place where you are starting to feel excited again. You're starting to feel excited about the possibilities of what this life could be, at least in this new phase that is beginning for you. And this transition has brought a lot of energy of creativity. It has brought you back to the things that you may have lost touch with when you were younger, that may have brought you a sense of happiness or peace or comfort, things that you creatively just were in touch with as a child, things that you already were gifted with, things you knew how to do, whether that's music or drawing or art or play, whatever it is, that these things you may notice are making a reemergence in your life, that you may be drawn to doing what you used to do as a kid, and maybe you didn't have a perfect relationship with what it was that you found yourself doing a lot as a child. for me, that was music. I was brought into music at a very young age, at age 4, and put through the entire classical piano training. And it felt very filled with pressure and very performative, and so distorted and skewed my relationship with music. But I also find myself now coming back to it again, but in a new way, and healing my relationship with the gift that was naturally given from God, and through my experiences in life got distorted and disconnected from. But now there is this energy, and I sense for you too that there is an energy of renewal, a chance to repair, a chance to reconnect with these old passions, these artistic expressions of yourself in an entirely new way. And whether this is to be just a hobby that you get to reignite your sense of passion and joy for life through, or whether it becomes something that you actually, make a living with, if those paths intersect, we don't know that at this point. But what's important is that as this creativity is emerging, it's being rekindled within you, that fire in your sacral chakra, the creative life force, when it returns to you, to your body, it's really important that you tend to it, that you give it fire, and you give it fuel to keep burning more and more brightly, that you allow space and creates opportunities for yourself to nurture this expressive, artistic, free, wild side of yourself. Because what has potentially taken place, I know this is true for me, but see if this resonates with you too, is that this massive identity shift and transformation that's happening at this time has taken place because you've gotten to a place where you have created freedom for yourself. You have loosened the chains of expectation, of standards, of programming that the people who were raising you, or the environment that wanted to shape you, you have broken out of that mold, and you are now realizing that who you were meant to be is not who you are right now. And that may be in a very much like career-oriented sense of what you're doing may not light you up anymore. You might be realizing that you want to pivot, you want to change directions, you want to welcome in something you have never done before, and you're almost like sitting in this void just waiting for the clarity to come to you, but also feeling very patient. I see you being very patient about this in the process, letting the next steps appear in front of you, and just collecting the pieces slowly, and not having to have the full picture all at once, but to realize that this new identity, this new version of you is forming because you've said, no, it's no longer in alignment for me to move through my life as this role, as this version of myself, as this character, as this sort of package that everyone else told me that I should be, or that I told myself I should be doing for reasons of security, safety, stability, and whatever else was valuable to this part of you. And now you've created so much freedom, you've created secureness within yourself, you are directly connected to your source, your maker. And whether that is through spirituality, through religion, through inner work, whatever it is, you have found a deep sense of knowing yourself in an entirely new way, and your reality wants to shift to reflect that, to help you express yourself and manifest a reality where you can be in alignment with that. You can live in full integrity with who you are, the way you were designed by God, by Source, to live in this world, what you were meant to bring to, and the impact that you were meant to have here. And it's entirely different than the impact you have been having. It's even bigger and even better than you could ever imagine. And so this is why things have been opening up for you in this way. It's easy to look back and think that, and get into the comparison game. Like, look, maybe there have been people from your past who have been emerging to reflect to you that it's possible to have been in a different timeline. It's possible to have been stuck in a certain reality that played out, that you see reflected in someone else's life, that you could have been part of if you had chosen to stay. And I had a reflection of this last night, a major wake-up call of someone from my past who was significant to me, an ex-partner whose life unfolded in a way that I had no idea how unhappy he was. And from the outside, I remember having felt so envious and jealous of what he appeared to have, but truly it was just that I couldn't see that the value in the choices I was making, the life that I was living, and that even though he was creating what he wanted, even though it doesn't appear to be the life that I would have wanted or thought that he would have, I was focusing on my own path and creating freedom for myself. And it's so easy to look, at other people and what's going on externally in like other contexts, other situations, and think that we're doing something wrong, or that like that just hasn't happened yet for us or whatever. But I think what we're collectively realizing through our own mirrors and reflections is that there is that everything we've chosen for ourselves has been right for us. And that even though externally things are still shifting and changing, and like burning things down doesn't mean that none of that mattered. It means that you have the opportunity, you have the tools, and you have the window available to you to create something brand new. What a blessing it is to be able to start over. I've seen and known so many people who felt so stuck in the life that they had built for themselves, and that they had just tied themselves down with so many different things and didn't feel like they could create a change. And meanwhile, I was over here like not collecting and accumulating external things, but really working on my internal connection with myself. Because I feel like deep down intuitively I knew, and I think that you know too, that is the most valuable asset that we can build in this lifetime. Everything externally is constantly changing and shifting, and to place our power, our identity, our sense of self, our sense of worth, and get attached to the things that will inevitably change, like this, it's only going to serve as a reminder to come back home to center, to remember that you can feel strong, you can feel stable, secure, and confident in yourself, no matter what life looks like around you, no matter what other people are doing. You get to stay focused on you and your life, because God has a plan for you, and nobody else can fulfill it but you. And the more that we can accept and acknowledge and align with the way that we were meant to live, like the more beauty and love and power we can share through our presence and through our beingness, through our actions, through our words, through our thoughts, through our connection to ourselves, to others, and to spirit. So whoever needs to hear this today, I am totally in, honestly, the word is reverence. I'm in reverence for this process of clearing out, of shedding, of being whittled down, back down to the core of who you are. And remembering that that is the flame, the eternal flame of truth, of love, of life that you carry through you, with you throughout life. And that it's not about the external circumstances. It's not like we're talking about building a life that is a reflection of what you feel and know to be true on the inside. And while that is coming to pass, like you can still experience joy now. You can still feel secure, stable, and confident now, while all of that is shifting and changing. I know you already have been practicing this deeply, because in order to get to this place at all, where you can actually be on the precipice, standing on that cliff of like, the life that was actually meant for me is right there, and I'm about to step into it. The only reason you are at this place, ready to step through that threshold, is because you've had to practice surrendering again and again and again, letting go of so much. And I hesitate to even say that you've earned this, because there's nothing that you really need to do to qualify necessarily, or to earn the worth and the love and the happiness, the joy, the peace, the ease that is already yours to have. But in this physical existence, there is work. It would be lying to say that we don't have to do the work in order to choose it, in order to make space for it, in order to cut through the illusions that tell us that we shouldn't have that, or that we don't deserve that. None of that has any grounds to stand as truth. So I see you. I am walking this path with you, and I'm sending you lots of love, because this next chapter for all of us, I know and can feel that this is going to be so beautiful, and I can't wait to see what unfolds for us all. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you in the next video.